After helping my neighbor move furniture for her renovation, I asked her to stop blocking my driveway. She said, "You didn't help me. You were just being a good neighbor." That same night, my car was scratched. I reviewed the footage, then sent it somewhere she wouldn't expect. I've lived in the same house just outside Durham, North Carolina for 10 years. It's a quiet neighborhood, mostly older couples, some families, a few people like me who keep to themselves. I'm 47, work from home, no kids, divorced. I've always liked how still things are around here. No drama.
No noise.
No one getting in your business. Then Dana moved in. She bought the house next to mine 3 months ago. Right away, I could tell she was going to be a problem. Loud phone calls on her front porch at all hours. Music blasting while she painted. Contractors coming and going without notice. It wasn't just messy. It felt like she didn't care about the people living next door. She acted like she was the only one on the street. At first, I stayed out of it. I told myself she's new.
Give it time.
2 weeks after she moved in, she knocked on my door one Saturday morning. She was out of breath, holding a screwdriver and wearing paint-splattered sweats. "Hey, sorry to ask this, but I'm in the middle of tearing up my floors and I need help moving a few things. Just a couple pieces. My cousin was supposed to help, but he ghosted me. I didn't really want to get involved. But I was raised to help people when they ask. So I put on my shoes and followed her over. It wasn't a few things. It was her whole damn living room. A sofa, a heavy-ass recliner, a dresser, and a weird vintage hutch with warped legs. She didn't have anything ready. Half her furniture was still full of stuff. "I think that one goes upstairs," she said, pointing at the hutch like it was no big deal. Then she started texting someone on her phone and disappeared for 10 minutes while I tried not to drop the thing on my foot. By the time I got back to my own house, 2 hours had passed. She gave me a quick "thanks, appreciate it," and closed the door behind me. A few days later, I noticed a contractor's truck parked in front of my driveway. I figured it was a one-time thing. It wasn't. By the end of that week, it happened 3 more times. I had to knock on her door one morning just to get out for a grocery run. Her response? "They'll be done in like 10 minutes. Can't you just wait?" That's when I knew this wasn't going to be a short-term thing. I stayed calm, even tried to be nice about it. I knocked again 2 mornings later and said, "Hey Dana, is there any way the trucks can park on your side instead? I've been blocked in a few times now." She was on her phone, didn't even look at me. "You didn't help me." "You were just being a good neighbor," she said. I blinked. "I'm not asking for anything except access to my own driveway." She laughed. "Then maybe don't live in a place with such small driveways." I didn't say anything. I just turned and walked back to my house. My hands were shaking. I wasn't even mad, just stunned. Like I'd misjudged something basic about her. That night, around 11 p.m., I walked outside to grab something from my car. That's when I saw it. A long, deep scratch down the passenger side. From the front door to the rear. Like someone dragged something sharp all the way down in one slow motion. I stood there for a long time just looking at it. I have cameras, 2 simple security cams, one facing the front yard, one angled toward the driveway. I went back inside and pulled up the footage. It didn't take long to find. At 10:14 p.m., Dana walks out of her house. She paces for a bit near the sidewalk, then walks over to my car. She looks around, quick and nervous, then brushes past it with something in her hand. You can't see the object clearly, but you can see her body lean in, like she's pressing it against the car. She walks away like nothing happened. I stared at the screen for a long time. Not because I didn't believe it, but because it confirmed exactly what I feared. This wasn't a misunderstanding. She did it on purpose. I didn't call the cops. I didn't go over and yell. I didn't even tell anyone. I saved the footage to a thumb drive. The next morning, I printed out a frame from the video where you could clearly see her beside the car. I slid the thumb drive and the printout into a manila envelope. Then I dropped it in her mail slot. No note. No message. Just the evidence. But that wasn't all I did. I used an anonymous email address. Sent the footage to her landlord. I had the property management name from one of the signs that was still out front when she moved in. I said there had been repeated property damage and hostile behavior from the tenant and included the video. 3 days later, I noticed a white SUV pull up. 2 people in business clothes got out. They walked straight to her door. That's when things started changing. She stopped blasting music. The contractors disappeared. She stopped parking anywhere near my driveway. 2 weeks later, a sign went up in her window. Notice to vacate. She's got less than 30 days left. And the best part? She still doesn't know it was me. I thought that would be the end of it. Quiet justice. No more drama. But I underestimated Dana. About a week after the notice went up, I started hearing banging at odd hours. Not construction, more like slamming doors, things being dragged across floors. It always happened late, after 11 p.m. I'd be sitting in my living room and hear it. Drawers being dumped out, maybe furniture thrown against the wall. I figured she was packing in a rage. Then one morning I stepped outside to find a dead plant on my front porch. Just sitting there in a broken pot. It wasn't mine. I don't grow anything. I picked it up and tossed it. Didn't think too much about it until 2 days later when it happened again. This time it was an old lamp with a cracked shade.
Again, not mine.
Just sitting there on the concrete. She was leaving trash on my porch. Not enough to report. Not enough to prove. But it was deliberate. I started locking my gates. I added another camera, one facing the side yard. I didn't confront her. I didn't knock. I just kept recording. She was unraveling. One night, I saw her out front pacing. She was barefoot holding a drink. I was watching from my dark living room, through the blinds. She looked right at my house and said, "Some people just don't know how to mind their own ***king business."
There was no one else around.
The next morning, my mailbox was open. Not broken, not forced. Just open, like someone wanted me to notice. I checked inside. There was nothing in it, but the door had a smudge of something sticky. I cleaned it off with a rag. Then I checked the camera footage. At 4:03 a.m., Dana walked out with a flashlight. She stood in front of my house for about 3 minutes, then walked straight to my mailbox, opened it, leaned in, then closed it. That was enough. I sent that clip too, to her landlord and this time, to the local police non-emergency line. I didn't accuse. I just said there had been multiple incidents of trespassing and damage. I said I was concerned for my safety. I attached every clip. A few days later, a patrol car showed up. 2 officers knocked on her door. They didn't arrest her, just talked. But I watched from my window as she stood there, arms crossed, face red, yelling. She kept pointing at my house. One of the officers turned, looked directly at my camera, then back at her. They handed her a slip of paper and left. She slammed her door so hard my windows rattled. That night, the power in my garage cut out. I checked the fuse box, nothing wrong inside. Went out back to look at the external breaker. The plastic cover had been yanked off. Clean rip. Like someone pulled it with both hands. That wasn't a message. That was a warning. I filed a report. Quietly. I didn't press charges, but I logged everything with the local precinct. Just in case. The officer I spoke to was calm, professional. He said it sounded like a pattern of escalating behavior. He asked if I had any evidence of the garage tampering. I gave him the footage. Dana walking around the side of my house just before the power went out, wearing a hoodie and gloves. It wasn't crystal clear, but it was enough. "Keep your doors locked," he said before he left. "Let us know if anything else happens." I did more than that. I bought motion-activated lights. Put them around the back, along the sides, near the garage. Dana must have seen them go up because the very next day she was standing in her yard, arms crossed, watching me install them. No shame. She called out, "Paranoid much?" I didn't answer. I didn't look at her. But here's where things started getting strange. A week before her move-out deadline, someone slipped a letter under my front door. No envelope. Just a folded sheet of lined notebook paper. It said, "You started this. You think you're better than people. You're not. Maybe it's time someone reminded you." No name.
No signature.
But I knew who it was. I gave that to the police too. But then, something happened that threw everything sideways. The property manager called me, said they had a situation. Dana had filed a complaint against me. She claimed I was harassing her, watching her through cameras, and creating a hostile environment. Luckily, I'd already shown them all my footage and emails. They knew what was really going on. But here's the part that made my skin crawl. The manager said, she told us she's not moving out. She's trying to break her lease and sue. My stomach dropped. Turns out Dana wasn't just reckless. She was vindictive and smart. She knew how to flip the narrative. She knew just enough legal language to stall things. For the next week, things got quiet. No trash on my porch. No scratches. No power cuts. I thought maybe she was regrouping. Then I got a call from my insurance company. Someone had filed a claim using my policy number for roof damage. I don't have roof damage. They flagged it as suspicious and froze the account. I spent 2 days on the phone proving it wasn't me. The rep said the claim had been filed online from an IP address in the area. I changed every password I had. Installed two-factor on everything. I felt sick. I checked my trash can. My old bills were gone. I don't know when she took them. Probably weeks ago. Maybe the night she was at my mailbox. She was digging into my life. Not just to scare me, to hurt me. And I still had one last piece of footage I hadn't sent to anyone yet. Something I'd saved for a moment just like this. I had footage from the second week Dana moved in. At the time, it didn't seem important. Just her and a man unloading boxes from a U-Haul. But something had always bugged me about that day. He looked older, wore a tool belt, and acted like he was trying not to be seen. He didn't park in the driveway. He pulled into the alley behind our houses. I pulled the video again. This time I zoomed in. His face was clear enough. I ran it through a reverse image search tool online. Took a few tries, but eventually I hit on something, an article from 2018. The man was a contractor from Raleigh who had been sued by 3 clients for stealing from their homes during renovations. It hit me like a brick. Dana didn't just hire this guy. She was working with him. Suddenly, all the pieces fit. The strange hours, the rushed move-in, the chaos, the disappearing contractors. She wasn't just renovating. She was flipping houses or pretending to, and maybe worse. I sent the footage and the article to her landlord and copied the police. Within 48 hours, things moved fast. An unmarked car showed up first. Then 2 officers. They were in her house for almost an hour. I couldn't hear anything, but I saw Dana crying on the porch when they walked her out. Not in cuffs, but not by choice either. That night, someone rang my doorbell at 2:30 a.m. I didn't answer. Just watched from the monitor as a dark figure stood there for a full minute, not moving. Then they walked away. The next morning, someone had keyed rat into my garage door. That was when I knew this wasn't just about a blocked driveway or scratched paint anymore. This was a war she had been fighting long before I even knew her name. And somehow, I'd stepped right into the middle of it. I still live in the same house. The scratch is still on my car. The word rat is still faintly visible on the garage door, even after I painted over it twice. Dana's gone now, but every time I hear a knock after dark, I pause. I never thought doing the right thing would feel like stepping into something I can't walk back from. And the truth is, I'm not even sure I won. Some people don't need revenge to ruin your life. They just need to know you noticed.